Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ExQueerience Points Starfinder, your favorite queer Starfinder podcast. If you love our show, we hope you'll rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you consume your podcasts. Every review brightens our day and helps new listeners to find us. We don't pay to advertise any of our podcasts on ExQueerience Points, so we hope you'll recommend us to your friends and just about anyone. If you'd like to support us, we hope you'll consider joining our Patreon. We'd be lost without our patrons. You keep our mics on and our dice rolling. We've got some great rewards, so check them out at patreon.com/ExQueeriencePoints. Keep up to date with all of our shenanigans, streams, and giveaways by following us on Twitter at EQ Points. If you want notifications for when we're streaming our episodes before they're released on the podcast feed, be sure to follow us on twitch.tv/ExQueeriencePoints. Please say hi, we love chatting with all of you. Stay tuned after the episode for some more exciting announcements.
Be gay. Roll dice.
An LGBTQIA actual play podcast network.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. This ExQueerience Points podcast. My name is Kenny. My pronouns are he, they, and this is our amazing cast. Oh no, everybody switched around on the cameras. All right. Yes, my amazing and wonderful cast. Hi, Steph.
Hi. I'm Steph. I play our Goran Scholar Solarian Navu Paleglade. My pronouns are she, her. Navu's are she, they.
Fantastic. Thanks, Steph. Hi, Mackenzie.
Hi, I'm very dedicated to getting my character's class and theme correct this time. I'm Mackenzie. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I play Dr. Josephine Pepper, also known as Dr. Joe, and I am our human envoy icon.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mackenzie. And Kelrick.
Hello, I am Kelrick. I play Thrani Ecos, our Patra Ace Pilot something, Witch Warper, who uses he pronouns just like I do.
That's fantastic.
I got it right, so we had to trade off on who forgets what their character is this week.
I mean, what you couldn't see out of frame was me counting on my fingers to make sure I got all of the bits of my intro.
For sticking with us and finding out what's happening on this little side quest adventure. So we left with Navu finding Blue Spruce in the cargo hold with their comms pad and with A-Hole's cartridge.
It was Blue Spruce in the cargo hold with the candlestick.
Yes! I knew I could count on Mackenzie to make that joke.
I watched Clue like 2 weeks ago. It was amazing. I love that movie so much.
It's a good movie. All right, so what are you going to do? What are you going to say?
Pluck. With that AI drive.
Okay. You reach forward to pull it from their hands. Roll a melee attack.
Yes. Beat them down.
Or that's also like what, sleight of hands? Yeah, do sleight of hands. Do that instead. You're not attacking.
No, I'm not.
Not yet.
Oof.
I will roll something. All right. So yeah.
Whoa.
You are able to Blue Spruce looks up and notices you and are kind of shocked for a moment, and then Navu reaches down and snatches the tape or the cassette cartridge thing, and Blue Spruce kind of oh right, yes, hi.
Why did you steal our AI cartridge?
It's a funny story. It's really
Speak quickly.
Hilarious. Well, you've been talking with Madrin, right?
No,
Oh.
I haven't. I saw you were missing and then found traces of you messing with our AI.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to deny that. That did happen, yes.
Why?
Really, Madron should be the one to answer all of these questions.
I'm asking you.
Oh, yeah, I guess you are. Roll. Do you want to intimidate? Do you want to use diplomacy?
I'm gonna go with diplomacy because, like, Navu's being firm. I should go with intimidate. I have the better intimidate.
Okay.
I don't want to. Like, trying better to not metagame. So.
Okay. So, with a 13 intimidate. Okay. So, yeah. Lucas looks up at you and says, okay, so at this point, I guess you've gathered that we're not here for the reasons that we initially said we were. I mean, we're still passengers. We're still using Space Hub.
You've quite broken the terms of service by...
I was just going to look them up. I was like, Thrani is going to do a computer check to pull up our little contract here, see what's going on.
Navu is totally bluffing on that, by the way, so please do.
Well, okay, so roll a bluff check, and then if you want to roll your computer check, go ahead.
A 10 to go
7.
into our own computer and pull up our own contract. Seems reasonable.
So with A-hole being out, it's very hard to kind of make sense of calls to the infosphere. So you're getting back like a fire hose of data that A-hole typically sorts through for you and presents the best one. They're Google for you.
Oh no, you're left with Bing.
Yes.
Oh.
So, you basically got returned a whole database about terms of services from every conceivable company. It'll take you a while to find the right one. And Navu, with what you're saying, Bluespruce kind of looks at you and nods. And, well, I mean, everybody has their reasons, and we have our own. And they kind of gesture towards the door. I'd really like to get back with my, friends isn't the word I can use anymore, I guess, since you've seen through that.
Navu's gonna take a knee in front of Bluespruce.
Mm-hmm.
Look, if you were going to damage the ship, I imagine you would have done so already. Why did you steal our AI? Are you here for it?
No. This AI is really complicated and has lots of problems. But the one problem it doesn't have is commsing. This AI can comms out and receive transmissions, and that would just be too endangering for our mission.
Which is?
Well, for starters, to get on the asteroid, and I guess we've landed, so we're here?
Oh,
So,
no.
Step 1 complete. I'd like to bluff.
Sure.
17.
So you bluff and you say that, and Bluespruce looks at you and nods, but as Navu says, oh no, Bluespruce kind of nods and is also cocking their head.
Not leaving this ship until we get answers. Let's return to your friends.
I would very much like that, thank you.
Can I do a sleight of hands with Navu to get the cartridge that has our AI so I can go replace it just on the bridge?
Oh, Navu would totally just hand it to you.
Well, I don't want them to know that
Oh.
that's been done. I mean, I think the more we keep them confused, the better off we are.
Fair.
Another 17.
Okay. And Navu, why don't you also sleight of hands?
Oh, God.
I would like to help. That's a 2.
Okay, so I think that Navu has a concept of what being stealthy is, and they do it. They attempt it, and I think part of that is like holding their hand over it as they kind of put it towards Thrani. And let's see here. Blue Spruce is gonna roll this at a negative, so let's do that and.
Because Thrani has a +7.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
They're distracted, but they're not that distracted. But you don't know whether or not they saw you.
Okay. Well. All right. Let's go join the others. Or, Navu, you can. I'm going to go back to the bridge.
All right.
And I would walk with you out of the cargo hold and up to where everyone else is, and then just keep on walking. Because I want our AI plugged back in, because I do not want another episode of being locked in a holodeck. A-hole needs to know they're appreciated and missed.
Yes. Navu's actually going to keep the private comms open to Thrani.
Yes.
Okay.
Brilliant.
And
Fantastic.
is tailing Blue Spruce back into the room.
Okay, so we will follow Navu and Blue Spruce, and then we will circle back to Thrani and A-hole. All right, so you exit the cargo hold. Thrani saunters off towards the bridge in their normal manner, and you kind of walk with / march Blue Spruce towards the mess hall, where the safety couch is, and the bookshelf, and all of the other accoutrements for guests are. So the door opens, and Dr. Joe is there, kind of monitoring Madrin, and Furthen is kind of facing a corner, like they've put themselves in timeout.
Okay. Navu's walking right up to Furthen after that door closes and hitting the lock.
Okay.
Your game is up.
They
What
huff.
do you want with our ship?
What does anyone want with any ship, especially when using Space Hub?
Child? Quit screwing with us, or I will throw you into the vacuum of space. You send your underling to steal our AI, and you sit in the corner like a petulant child. Now answer. You're better.
Roll Intimidate.
Hells yeah, Navu.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Joe says, hell yeah, Navu, out loud.
That's a 22, baby.
Nice.
Thank God the roll backed me up.
Yeah. it was good. It was good. Yeah, so Furthen kind of swallows and straightens themselves up, turns around, and then gives a stink eye over at Madrin, and then looks at you and says, "You're right. We haven't been forthright, but we legitimately just want to transport."
You could have just been forthright. You chose a ship with another Goran. Did you check to see I am not from Goran Prime?
They shoot a glance over at Madrin.
Stop looking at Madrin. I asked you a question.
We were well aware of the crew compliments and the security of your ship. There was an assessment.
So you know I have no love for the government on Gorin Prime. I was born and raised on Castorville. Well, born is the wrong word, but I have spent too long among those that are. So what is your true goal? And why tamper with our ship?
We are just looking to establish ourselves on a new space. We were very cognizant of needing a sympathetic being who understands what we go through. However, you are still Gorin, and while your history matches and the things that you say match, one can never really tell how much allegiance one has with their own species.
You are not my enemy unless you continue to make yourself appear as one.
They kind of process that, and they nod. And Madrin kind of speaks up. This is more my fault than anything. And they look at you like they've been kind of mentally calculating all of this. Yes, we did check in on you and try to figure out the best way of approaching this. And for you to have plausible deniability seemed like the best option.
I have no connection to Gorin Prime.
Yeah, that makes sense, but we wanted to put ourselves in a position of a little bit more power.
Navu arcs an eyebrow, or the equivalent of.
Madrin continues. We didn't choose Valgeb for, vanity reasons. There's strategic value.
Who are you running from?
Oh, to be sure, the primary overseers at Chorus Prime. We just can't sit idly by any longer, and we wanted to establish ourselves.
I would say some of the tension leaves Navu, but, plant being, if that were to happen, they would probably look dead.
Yep.
You do realize how easily your destination could be tracked. Your funds connect directly back to Gorin Prime. All they would have to do is hack Space Hub to know where you asked to be dropped off. We could take you somewhere better.
If you'll check your Space Hub account, you'll see that the destination has been altered. We still want to go to Valgeb, don't get me wrong, and that was our initial ask. But the official location is, I think we chose Idari.
Do I know anything about Idari?
It's the hub ship for the Kasathan.
It was familiar, but I'm like, I can't place it.
No problem.
Mental Rolodex, and all I'm pulling up is Star Wars.
Yep.
Why the wandering asteroid? At least tell us why we are risking our lives.
Well, with your AI gone, there's no way to track your actual movements. So, there really isn't that much risk.
The asteroid is unpredictable, and the AI assists in the trajectory calculations. while I am trained in doing that, it is helpful to have the AI to assist us. Also, it is not gone.
Right, we were planning on leaving the AI for you to re-engineer and
Oh, it has already been returned to us.
And Madrin looks over at Bluespris, who has a sheepish look on their face. That's fair.
Perhaps not a sapling who is considering becoming an oakling. They shed rind everywhere.
And
Player is making stuff up.
yep, no, that's good. Typically the process is that they have to stay sedentary for a certain amount of time. But
Right.
you can definitely infer that they had started that process but then needed to stop for some reason. Roll a culture check.
How I wish advantage were a thing in this game.
I know. 13. Okay, you know that on Gorus Prime, space for saplings to become oaklings is very well regulated.
This is such an interesting take on what Gore's Prime would be like.
I know.
It's fascinating.
I mean, we don't have a lot of info, so it's fun.
That's why it's awesome. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. And so some of the reason that they are saying they want to establish their own colony makes some sense.
Mm-hmm.
You can also roll a sense motive if you would like. Yep. It seems
5.
all right. Everything checks out in your brain.
Dr. Joe, you have been very quiet.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm all for sticking it to the man, I guess. I just don't know what we can do.
We can take them where they want to go. I understand wanting to be away from all of that. It is how I came to be.
But I mean, theoretically, we drop them off. We feel like we did a good thing, and then we never have to see them again.
So, my question to the three of you, are you planning to use the asteroid to transition, or are we leaving you there?
Madrin looks a little caught off guard and a little sheepish. They say, we all have our personal reasons for needing space. And they look over at Bluespris. Some are more obvious than others.
That did not answer my question as to whether or not you intend to stay on the asteroid or return to Absalom Station.
Oh, we'll be staying. This was... Oh, was it booked round trip? I forget. I think
It was booked round
It was
trip,
booked round trip. Okay.
but I was making sure if that was a lie.
Yes. Let's say it was. So
That
we're
works.
planning on staying.
All right. Thrani,
Can I
shall
get
we
it?
do this?
Can I get a hole installed on the bridge?
Yes, you can. Given the conversation that you had, are you going to disregard the reasons why they disabled A-Hole?
I am. A-hole is way more important to me than these customers who have lied to us and, for all we know, tried to steal A-hole, which I'm totally not down. I mean, A-hole is a part of the crew.
Okay.
He they have forced us to acknowledge this through a puzzle room.
Part of the crew, part of the ship.
That's right.
All right, so yeah, then roll a
Computer?
engineering check.
I can't. I don't have
You don't
engineering.
have engineering. Okay, fine. Do a straight up int check.
Ooh,
Am I
what?
the only one with engineering?
Yeah, well, now.
Oh.
A 16.
Okay. You look at the cartridge, and you remember ye installing the cartridge before, and you're looking around, and there's a port that is roughly the same size and shape as the negative or inverse of the cartridge, and you're like, I guess this is where it can be stuck in, and so yeah, you jam it in. The computer takes a minute to spin up. It kind of the lights in the front of the bridge kind of sputter, and you hear a loud whirring noise as if the fans on the ship are resetting themselves, and the ship kind of quakes a little bit as some of the thrusters kind of fire, but you don't lift off. Over the ship comms, you hear, "Hello?"
A-hole, it's good to have you back.
Oh, thank goodness. It was so dark, so lonely.
Oh. Well, can you monitor the bridge while we go deal with these passengers?
Okay, but
Don't let them in here.
I won't. Just don't hold it against the selfie one. They were really just they were fun.
Wait, what?
Okay, bye.
I'm more confused than usual, so this is odd.
Could everyone hear a-hole?
Yep.
Does A-hole have a crush?
Were you communicating with our AI after you disconnected it? Lousy.
They were kind of interesting. I think I bonded with them before, I had to do the inevitable.
I
They
see.
mean betrayal. Because I'm not there yet. I'm still on comms.
At 2 Bluespris.
All right, so I think Thrani walks in and glares at Bluespruce because you don't mess with the ship and you don't mess with the AI. That should just be a given, especially when I'm counting on them to help me pilot this thing to a moving target that is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So they've put all of our lives in danger, and they tried to. Well, they did disable our AI. Super pissed off. I'm like, no, they need a timeout somewhere. If this is gonna continue and we're dropping you off, you have gone from passengers to cargo, and there's a premium on that. So this is gonna cost a little more.
Madrin looks up, breaking gaze from Navu, and says, "Of course, I understand. I can double our rate."
Done. What do we need A-hole to not do so that you don't try to disable them again?
They need to not report our location or answer any incoming comms.
Oh, A-hole does that all the time.
Yes.
Why didn't you just say so? That's like A-hole's prime directive half the time.
All
Don't
you
take
had-
incoming calls.
Yes. A-hole is only good at communicating with us.
From our research. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, tell us more about your research.
Apparently, they have been studying us.
Well, you are kind of famous.
I know.
So, you were on this asteroid that is not their destination. What are you planning on doing?
So, Navu, I'm gonna need your help on the bridge, but these three can no longer be allowed to walk around the ship. Dr.
Dr.
JP,
Joe?
can you watch?
Yeah, we can have a good time, right?
And I would go over and just make sure I'd pick up your gun and put it in your hand.
Oh, okay, all right.
Watch
I'm-
them.
I am not sure that is necessary.
Madrin looks up and is like, I understand the desire for hostilities. We didn't do our best.
Sorry, my cat's rubbing his face against my mic. Buddy.
Yeah, and
Needs attention so bad he might die.
Thrani was raised in the Viscarium, so I get some of this, but at the same time, I'm like, you just don't treat us that way. We don't know you, but you don't treat us that way. That's not something I'm willing to accept. Navu, let's just get them dropped off, and then let's go do something else.
Yes. Let's.
I throw a glare over my shoulder as I walk out and just head to the bridge. Yeah, and at the bridge, Ehol, Navu, let's get this done.
Fantastic. So roll a piloting check and Navu roll computers.
Oh, not physical science?
Okay, yeah, you can do physical science. Yep. I forgot that's what we did last time.
Yep. There's a whole reason I'm a scholar.
No.
Whew.
A nat 1 on piloting,
And I
which is still a 10.
I got a 13.
On physical science.
Oh, and don't we get a +2 bonus from the ship?
You do. So you get a 12. All right. So here's how this is gonna work.
Oh no.
You hear an alarm going on. And A-hole chimes in. It seems like something is holding the ship down.
Tell me you didn't accidentally land in the mouth of some space creature.
So, from above us, or is it on the asteroid below us? Where is it?
I don't know, but you just tried to thrust your hardest and it didn't move.
Am I right?
That's what he said.
I want to jump over to the gyro laser and see if there's anything to target with it. What do I use?
I will also now do a computer scan to see what the fuck.
Yep. Do the computer scan first as Thrani is changing things.
Nice.
22.
Alrighty. So, you notice that there are several targets around your ship. They're kind of life signatures of sorts.
What do you mean of sorts?
They don't seem to be of this plane.
Not again.
Is that can I do a mysticism check on that as I'm getting the information?
Yeah, as Navu's pointing it out, you can, definitely.
That's a 9.
You want to assist me?
A 9 would not assist you. So
Oh, that's right. It wouldn't.
go right
You
ahead.
can roll your own mysticism if you'd like.
Oof.
Also,
Wow, Fantasy Grounds. Thanks for that.
Damn.
so yep, you are. You're not sure why, but you have several of these life forms spotted around the ship, specifically around your landing gear. Interestingly enough, as you're doing these sensors readings, the thrusters seem to fire again, but with the same intensity that you had intended when you initially pushed the button. And the computer's not reading them thrusting. They're just starting to fire, and the ship kind of lifts up, but since you were starting to look into what was going on, the ship then falls back down to the ground and thuds.
Yeah, I'm gonna fire the gyro laser at the ground around our landing gear without hitting our landing gear, I hope. What's that roll?
The targets are too small to actually target.
That's why I'm hitting the ground around our gear. Not trying to hit anything specific, just not hit our landing gear.
Okay. Yeah, you can fire. It's a gunnery roll. So you were going to shoot or fire at will or precise targeting.
Precise targeting, because I do not want to hit our ship. I want to hit the ground around it, because if something's holding us down, I want it blown away.
Okay, go ahead and do that.
Oops. Oh. Must select a weapon to fire. Of course. I thought I had. Okay, here we go. A 15.
All right. So the laser fires and hits the ground. The sensors read it happening, and the laser firing. But something seems off. The impact doesn't happen. Steph, if you want to do a computer's check or something
Sure.
for sensors.
Going for computers, and that still sucks. 14.
That's fine. So when you're using your sensors, you still find the life forms that are on there, but also you get a readout of a time dilation.
Oh no.
Oh dear. It is another time dilation.
No.
Were you playing with your Harrow deck again?
No. This is not me. Let's try. So, okay. So one of them, it's initiative, one is fly as a move action. They also have full power as a move action. So can I just do a full power piloting roll?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So skills, piloting, fingers crossed. An 18.
Full power?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We will figure out what that does in a moment. What is Dr. Joe Pepper doing?
I mean, do I have any? I don't have any like inclination that anything's wrong, right? I'm just like babysitting right now.
Basically.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep babysitting. Like, are they just sitting in silence? Are they just sort of shut down completely?
I mean, they're all kind of checking their sensors and going over their comms logs, and Blue Spruce looks a little lost, and just not all with it. Furthen is less petulant, a little bit more thoughtful looking, kind of sheepish, and Madron just looks honestly leaderly.
So I take everybody in, and I say, so when you get off this ship, you're all gonna stay together, right?
Madron looks over at the other two and then looks at you and says, honestly, no. We each are gonna take our own separate plots and do what we came there for.
Oh, well. In that case, I was going to say maybe we could take this time to reconnect. It seems like there's a rift between you all. I can feel it. I can see it.
Oh, believe me, we are connected enough.
Sometimes it is the healthier option to go separate ways, but you also have to sort of balance out the idea of what will be missing from your life after they're gone. Have you thought about that yet? Or the good and the bad?
For decades.
And I guess that seems like it's what you want to do. I won't try to talk you out of it. It's just a big bad world out there. You don't want to be alone all the time.
That's fair. Which is why we're doing this together, though separate.
Well, good for you. So how's the weather where you're from? Dr. Joe's just gonna try to make small talk because she has like no idea that anything is going wrong. So she's just like, I'm just chilling with these people, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that makes sense. While y'all are doing that, so Thrani did the full speed action. Okay,
I sent a link to what it does, but I can just tell you all.
Yeah.
So, full power is I have to spend a resolve point, and I can move my ship 1.5 times its speed. I can make turns during this, but it adds 2 to the starship's distance between turns. So it limits my maneuverability, but it increases my ability to how fast I can go.
Okay. So you do this, and I imagine it basically redlines the thrusters as where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Here. Okay. So you push the ship to its limits doing this, and the ship shudders as it attempts to take off. And you hear whining of the hull, and you hear more alarms go off. And as you're doing this, the ship shudders and then immediately flies into space away from the diaspora. Roll another piloting check for me, please.
Sure. 26.
As the ship launches off of this rock, you're able to anticipate, and with A-Hole's help, navigate around the other asteroids that are in the diaspora as your power maneuver fully takes you off of the asteroid. However, sensors are indicating you have left something behind.
I want to use a minor action that we can do, which is called Quick Rescan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a computer's check with a DC of 9 to rescan our ship and what all might have been left.
Okay, go ahead.
So that's a 17.
You are missing your landing gear.
Gold. Stupid. Okay.
We're gonna Millennium Falcon this.
Okay. Now, I want to have A-Hole. A-Hole, can you scan our contract to make sure that all damages to the ship caused by this trip are covered by space insurance?
Sure, you want me to dig through contracts. That's my favorite.
I'm so glad to hear it.
I'll get back to you.
I can't wait. Goodness, I really feel like Dr. JP's symposia have helped us with our communication.
It's helped one of us.
Navu.
What would you like me to do?
Can you help with plotting our trajectory to get back to this asteroid and land without landing gear? It's going to be fun.
I can try.
So go ahead and roll physical sciences.
Okay.
Can I assist?
Yeah.
Woohoo! 21.
Fantastic. And with Thrani's help, that is a 23. You're able to find Valgeb. It is still within your range using the field that you have, and you can fairly easily plot a trajectory towards it.
There you are, Thrani.
Okay, let's get this over with. So yeah, I would immediately take off and try to get us there as quickly as possible.
Okay, so roll piloting.
Please be good. Please stay good. Please stay good. 19.
19. Okay. Yeah, you're able to follow the trajectory and put yourself on a course of intercept with the asteroid. As you're doing this, it takes a little bit of time, but you're able to match pace with Valgeb, and with a little bit more finesse, you're able to find a fairly decent landing spot for normal landings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there are several stunts we can try if we want to do this. I mean, the simplest one is just, it's called a maneuver. And so I can just try and do a maneuver to land and see what happens.
Okay.
So, it's a DC 19 and I rolled a 14.
Okay. So you gauge the landing spot, and
we get +2 from the ship.
that's true. So it's a 16. Didn't fail that badly. And so you align with the spot, and your calculations work if all of your landing gear were there, and they're not. And so what happens is that the hoopty gets to the hovering range where it would begin settling on the landing gear and cuts power to all of the thrusters and bellies out on top of the asteroid.
Oh my.
Thank you for choosing the GD hoopty.
Madrin stands up, looks back at their colleagues, and looks at y'all in the mess hall and says, well, this has been a trip, and I thank you for taking us.
Please leave a decent review.
Kenny, if I may,
Mm-hmm.
As they're kind of preparing to disembark, Navu is going to find a moment alone, because based on what I've read, this doesn't take long. And this is so awkward to have to say out loud. Going to jettison the seed in their abdomen.
Oh, okay. Are you going to talk with any of the saplings about this?
As soon as it's in their hands. It's in... Every Gorin has a seed in their belly button. And you can...
Disgorge it?
Yeah, as a move action.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you absolutely do that. And you have your seed.
And rejoins the crew and offers it to Mandarin.
Madrin looks down at your seed and looks at you and says, "Are you sure?"
I think it will help you to have someone potentially level-headed. And it diversifies your group.
Wait, you gave them like a baby Groot of you?
Mm-hmm.
If they plant it, it will grow into... Yeah.
What? You can just make as many of those as you want?
After 20 years, you get
Uh-huh.
this one.
Oh, because Joe's like, I would make an army of me if I could.
It takes time to make another one, but yeah, there's no limit on it. And I think there's a dice roll to see how long it takes to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's like 2d6.
Yeah. So they look at you and they kind of lean in and they say, I knew you'd understand. They put your seed in their pouch and look over at the other two saplings and back at you and say, we all just want control over our own destinies.
I do understand that. I hope you find it.
As with you.
If they're going to disembark, I love the idea of, as they go towards the ramp, since there's no landing gear, it doesn't fully open.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
And so it's just like making that squealing sound like it's trying, and then like a garage door that hits a point and then it closes, and then it tries to open again and closes.
So what I imagine happens is it does that once or twice, and then a-hole gets enough out of it and forces it, and so what happens is that the ramp pushes down the back of the ship, and so it all kind of levels up, and so you're like nose up or nose down into the sand.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Another successful trip.
Sweet Desna.
Right
Oh,
The
God.
three saplings have their items. They turn around, they look at you, and they bid you all farewell as they descend the ramp onto the wandering asteroid in the diaspora.
Is this when we get a ping from the Deep Cultures Network or Institute?
It's probably when we get a ping from an engineering platform saying, do you need some help? Because our ship needs some help.
No, you're gonna have to figure out how to get back to Absalom Station on your own.
Oh. Okay, well, I don't have engineering as an ability. Does anyone have engineering as a skill? Anyone?
I have
I
plus
have
one.
+1.
So both of you can actually do engineering roles. That's awesome. You two can try to fix the ship. I can pull up the schematics on the computer to help. Like I can. Here's a walkthrough. Whoa.
Well, I break the ship
Whoa.
complete. I rolled a natural one.
I rolled a
I just
4.
break the ship.
It's untrained, so neither of you can actually roll engineering.
Oh, then how did they have +1? Oh, just because it's intelligence?
It's using your intelligence. So let's do flat intelligence rolls instead of engineering, because I feel like that's cursed.
Can I aid by rolling computers and pulling up a space tube video showing how to do things? Another nat 1.
I rolled another
What is
one.
happening?
I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. Okay.
I got a 3.
All right.
You don't know how many points I had to dump in intent, so I didn't have a negative.
I got an 11 for my int check.
Okay, so here's what happens.
It is my ship, so
it
makes sense.
Roll a d4.
Oh dear. Okay. 4.
Oh no.
It takes you working with the rest of the crew and a-hole 4 days
Cool.
to rig the system so that you don't need the landing gear to thrust off of the asteroid.
Did we make it a hover ship?
No, I imagine you improvised a small explosion from underneath the hoopty to launch it up high enough to engage the thrusters. It was several near miss attempts for,
I love it.
putting a little bit more soot on the sides and the the hull of the hoopty. But a few more dents only adds character, right?
This is why we don't land out away from space stations. We just dock. Don't land. Dock.
You were able to push off the asteroid of Valgab and leave your Goran sapling passengers to their own destiny.
So they paid $1,400 for this trip.
Yes.
Is that going to be enough to do the repairs?
You'll find out when you get back to Absalom Station.
Why does
Roll a
everything go
D100.
sideways?
Oh.
Stupid dice. 2 nat ones? Are you kidding?
Seriously.
How did we like our little side quest?
It was adorable.
It was good. It was fun.
I like that it gave Navu that connection. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I really like that. I don't like those little saplings, though. Steal my AI. Are you kidding me?
All right. So thanks everyone who joined us and everyone who is listening to the pod or watching the YouTube video. You all are awesome and the reason why we do this. So let us sign off. Oh my gosh, everyone's camera's out of place again.
Wait, how did that happen? How did we not even notice it?
I was like, wait, what?
Okay, well, I don't care that people's name tags are in the wrong place for the last half of the video. Ugh.
I was like, tell me I didn't do that.
No, it's fine.
Oh my
Later,
god.
I'll be on Dungeon Wives.
Yeah, basically.
All right. So let us say our goodbyes. Steph, you are in the proper place, so let's start with Steph.
Hi, I'm Steph. You can find me on Twitter at Steph_Bard. When I'm not here rolling dice, you can catch me every other Wednesday on my podcast Film Fatales. We just released an episode as of us recording this about the 2000 heist film Snatch,
So good.
with our first actual guest host in GM Lee.
Nice.
He is awesome. He paints really awesome minis. If you don't know who that is, check out Chords of Fate or Mage Productions. Those are his things. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. And apparently it's a really good movie.
Okay.
Nice. Thank you, Steph. Let's go with Mackenzie, who is in Kelrick's spot.
Hello. My name is actually Mackenzie. You can find me at Mackenzie Wilkes on Twitter. And I'm here every other Saturday, obviously. And on Wednesdays, you can catch me at twitch.tv/godsfall and Rise of the Demigods. On Wednesdays as well. Podcast form, you can find me on Dungeons, Dice, and Everything Nice. And on Mondays, every other Mondays, we're releasing a new episode on 420, Blaze it. You can find me and my partner in the love of my life, Rachel, playing a game together on Dungeon Wives.
Fantastic. Thanks. And finally, last but not least, Kelrick.
So hello, I'm Kelrick, and you can find me on Twitter at Cormallon. That's CORMALLON. I also monitor the EQ Points Twitter. I am super proud to say that I am all caught up on editing and getting the Starfinder show up on YouTube and the podcast out, and I am almost caught up to where we are with Cumanera, which is a Numenera-based game that I narrate with Kenny and 2 other absolutely fabulous people. And one other announcement that we all have, well, I guess 2. Sadly, PB Plays has had to rotate off the cast for personal reasons. But we have the Grief Mop joining us in 2 weeks, and we will actually be starting the 2nd book in the Dawn of Flame AP.
Don't say that too loudly. Knock on wood, quick.
so excited about it. Cannot wait to start and, continue this story and see what other surprises they have in the AP, because the last one was really great.
Maybe, just maybe, Callie won't hamstring us.
Oh my goodness.
I love you, Callie.
Is all the grief mob. Callie is already, their character is horrible. Love it.
Absolutely disgusting.
It's gonna be brilliant. I cannot wait.
So we'll tune in for the fun resolution of those story arcs to figure out how Callie joins the cast.
Come check out Dice to Roll, the gayest Pathfinder podcast on the planet, where we ask the hard questions like,
Is it morally acceptable to kiss a goblin?
Are summoned creatures ethically sourced?
What's the real estate value on a haunted castle?
Dice Will Roll is a show where 4 friends team up every week to play Pathfinder 2nd Edition and be hopelessly gay the whole way through. Join Dave, KK, Ritz, and me, Derry, your mythic genderfluid GM, as we play through the Kingmaker adventure path and follow a gay human bard, a lesbian half-elf druid, and a transmask half-orc fighter on their journey to build and rule their own nation in the untamed wilderness of the Stolen Lands, and defend it from bandits, monsters, and wicked fae in an Arthurian adventure like no other. From getting 4 nat 1s in a row to standing up to the darkest forces in the multiverse, Dice Will Roll is here to help you keep it rolling. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Thank you for listening to ExQueerience Points Starfinder. If you're looking for more TTRPG podcasts in your life, we recommend checking out our sister podcast, Roll to Fail. They are 6 friends who have no business behind the mic or rolling dice. If you like what we create, then you should check out Cumanera, an adventure utilizing Numenera, releases every other Friday. This unlikely team is working for the Order of Truth to help communities under the influence of the strange and weird effects of Numenera. You can easily find it and all other recent episodes of our shows on our website, ExQueeriencePoints.com.